Hi guys, it has been 5 months since I posted anything on YouTube, and I'm really sorry because I was so on my content game for years. I took a video every second week for at least a year and I fell off the bandwagon completely. And obviously my life took a big 360 basically. I moved to London, and London's been incredible for so many different reasons, but I think from a content perspective it has been busy. Life has been lifing and I just don't have as much time to be creating content the way I used to do when I was in Australia. So while I thought so many incredible things for the content world and for me, I think life hasn't really panned out in that way. It's panned out in other ways, in incredible ways, but I just haven't been able to keep you guys informed, keep documenting my life, which is basically the crux of why I was doing this. So I am going to New York next week, and I remember last time I was in New York I had such a pull for my creative side when I was there, and I loved it so much, and I felt so inspired being there. I met so many incredible people. It really like kick-started something in me around being creative, and I think the feeling of going back there made me think about all the things I enjoyed doing. And a big thing for me was documenting my life. And I was thinking about why I stopped, and I realized it's because life was lifing. That is true, but I kind of lost my spark around like creating. So I guess this is my little message to be like, I want to get back on the YouTube bandwagon. I want to get back to documenting and filming things and sharing my thoughts. So this is a start, and this is super unfiltered. I have no script, no plan of what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna be out there and say it, and I'm hoping this is a new season of my content creation where I'm not putting something together aesthetically and rather just being there and talking about it. So my rental has the train on the other side, so if you can hear the train right now, that's because there's a train running across. And again, this is unfiltered. I'm just not editing it, so it is what it is. I have absolutely no makeup on. I had a day of appointments. I had my hair done. I went to the face gym for the first time, which was super exciting. Honestly, I loved my time there. And I got my nails, toenails only because I work in healthcare, done. So it was a day of appointments, and I thought, why not jump on here and have a little chat? I have now been in London for over 2 years, and clearly for a long time of that I have stopped sharing a lot. So let me tell you guys a few updates, a few things that's going on in my life. So I'm still at the same job. I'm loving it. I love my team. I love everyone there. I still live in the area that I live in London, which is Southwest London, and I enjoy that and love that as well. I have become a third space girly and I absolutely love it. Gym is literally the biggest crux, or the biggest like consistent thing in my life. Every morning you will see me at the gym, and I have definitely become a morning gym person. So many people talk about how in Australia people are so active and live such an active lifestyle, but I actually think when you find the right people are super active here as well. So I love that aspect of things. I recently went back to Australia and went to visit home, which was super special. I spent some real quality time. 3 weeks of literally just spending time with Pepper, with my parents, with my brother, with Sangeetha, like all my loved ones, all my close friends. I got to spend some quality time with everyone, and now I'm back to reality. The biggest mindset shift that's occurred in, I'd say, the last few months, or maybe the last like 6 to 8 months, I'd say, is that I consider London home. I was thinking in Australia like, oh, I'm going back home being going back to London home, and Australia is a different home, but they're both homes in different ways. And I think that's such an insane mindset shift, because obviously when I first moved, London was home temporarily, but it doesn't necessarily mean London was home. London was just where I was living at the moment, and going back home was going back to Australia. Obviously it's been over 2 years now, and London feels very much like home, for all that it's worth, you know. Like London has so many incredible things, but also so many downsides. But I feel like where I'm meant to be, and I think that's the biggest takeaway. That is the biggest thing to kind of make you feel like, yes, you are exactly where you're meant to be. You are home. So it's been great. I think I'd say maybe the last year or so, I wouldn't say before that, but this last year I feel like my goals, my aspirations, so many things have like kind of pivoted or shifted in life. The biggest part is obviously when I first moved here, it was very much travel, and while I love that I can access travel so easily here, and it's still such a crux of the thing I do, I feel like especially this last year I haven't really thought the only thing I really want to do is travel. Obviously it's still a big part and I still get a lot of leave and I'm still so lucky to be able to do that, but I feel like my goals and like my aspirations have shifted to in a way that I'm working on things in my career, I'm working on things in my relationship, I'm working on progressing my life outside of just travel. And I think that's what's really contributed to London feeling like home, and not so much just a in-between in my 20s and 30s while I'm traveling and exploring the world. And I think it's important to think about travel and exploration as something that you get to do for your whole lifetime, and not necessarily something that you have to do for a couple of years in your 20s. So I think that's been really special. Let me rephrase that. I think it's such a achievement or such a big deal when someone moves to another country and actually like creates their own life and makes something off of it. And the 2 years in London is one thing, but as in when you're staying here longer term, when you have to get sponsored and all of the other additional parts that come along with that, it's challenging. I think I've only just realized how challenging it is to be a migrant or be someone who is, you know, I'm reliant on my job in order to stay in this country. I am reliant on, you know, if I was to change jobs and things, I'm looking for sponsorship, and that is difficult in this day and age. That's difficult with the current economical climate, and I didn't realize all of these challenges existed until moving here. And keep in mind, obviously I am someone who's quite privileged. Like, I've got an incredible support system, which is my family at home, and you know, I've always got a home to go back to if I need. It really puts into perspective like what people would have gone through back in the day when they were migrating, especially when like we don't have things like the internet and being able to chat to someone else who's just done that. It really puts into perspective how challenging life could be, especially for my parents' generation when they did migrate, because without the internet, without other people who've done it, without a community, without my parents backing me, I don't think I would have had the balls to do something like this. So a few other changes. I guess I'm looking to move, which is exciting but also nerve-wracking to say, because I've lived in the southwest of London for over 2 years, literally since I moved here, and I've created a home here. I absolutely love it. It feels like my little pocket of Melbourne within London, and I think that's because of the people that are around here, the cafes and coffee shops that are around here, the greenery that's in the southwest that doesn't really exist in North London. And I think to say that I'm moving is going to feel like such a culture shock again. And it's crazy because obviously I moved to another country, yet I still think it's going to be a culture shock when I move flats. But I think it's because North London is so different to South London. There's so much greenery here and it's such an active community, and it really was the first place I considered home in London, so it is going to feel really weird. I think being here and being in my own space and obviously living on my own, I've definitely honed in on my type A personality. I cannot go without meal prepping my breakfast, lunch, dinner and dessert for an entire week, because I feel like it's one stress off of my mind. Someone else might look at that and go, you are so organized, you're so on top of it. But if I don't do it, I'm anxious and I'm stressed out. I think every night regardless of what I've done that evening, I will prep my gym bag because I'm ready to go the next day morning. I will wake up at about 5:30 no matter what day it is. Even if it's the weekend, I'll still wake up and then I'll force myself to sleep a little bit longer. I am still the kind of person who will create an itinerary for every single trip no matter what it is, and I love to do things early and I love to plan and prep, and I think being on my own has really honed in on my type A personality. I didn't realize how type A I was until I spent time on my own and created a lifestyle that's type A for myself, which is great because it takes away the anxieties around not having things organized. But it's also really hard when things don't go according to your plans that you've created in your head, and you've got to kind of trust the process and trust the situation, which when I first moved I thought it was something I learnt because, you know, things were so uncertain, and it's something I've clearly unlearnt because I've kind of fallen into my own habits and my own like comfort zone. So I think moving, and I think, you know, being in a new space and all of that will be a good challenge for me because it'll be different. And yeah, so I guess I'll take you guys on my journey with finding a new flat, you know, getting the new place set up and making it feel like home. I'll take you guys on that whole journey as long as I stay on this YouTube bandwagon. And I'm thinking I might as well also do a bit of a vlog for New York because I loved New York last time, but I didn't vlog the whole thing. I was a bit tired of vlogging by the end of my America trip. So I'm thinking I'll vlog this whole trip this time round, which I think will be a lot of fun, and it'll kind of kickstart coming back to YouTube and creating again because I have actually really missed that. So keep me accountable. Let's see how I go. That's enough of an update from me now, and I will chat to you guys very soon. Thanks for listening to me and hanging out with me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.